What was that?
Anybody checking on Britney?
Do you know what that
Okay.
made me think of though? You know how they say that celebrities, the year they became famous, like you're stuck there forever? Or like the year something
I've never
majorly.
heard that before.
It's a psychological thing. Like the year when something traumatic happens in your life or there's a big change, a lot of people feel stuck in that age. So for example, for us going through COVID, there's a lot of us walking around almost 30 and we all feel like we're still 26, 27. I turned 27 in COVID. So we were 26 when I started. And like you still have that mindset. You feel like you're 26. You're looking around at people having kids and you're like, but we're so little. Like things like that.
I do still feel like that.
Yeah. And so it's this thing when trauma happens to you, your brain kind of gets stuck there. A lot of child stars come out and say that happened. Like Justin Bieber has said that so many times. He feels like he's still 14 in a lot of ways and his brain sometimes functions like that. His team has said that too. Like sometimes they feel like they're working with a kid still. And it's just so much change happened, which reads as trauma when you're a kid. And you get stuck there. And reading Britney Spears's thing, whatever that was, I was so confused. But just the way it was written and like her flow of thoughts, I was like, oh my gosh. Like that's what it reminded me of.
It read like high thoughts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I kept wondering who tutored her.
No, it read like a string of like nonsensical.
It was just like a stream of consciousness that ended up in a note.
Yeah.
It made me feel bad.
Oh, totally. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I like, okay, as a member of the general public, I realize that I have no right to know. Like, it's
yes, absolutely.
literally none of my business. Like, from afar, I hope you're okay. But I'm
Godspeed.
just like, yeah, but is anybody checking on Britney?
I hope they are.
Like, is she okay? Like, do you remember like a year ago, whatever it was, when everyone was like, free Britney? Do you remember that?
I do.
The whole like free Britney movement?
Yeah. Are we still freeing her or is she considered free?
Well, like now that she is, like, because it was from the conservatorship that she was in.
Okay.
Right? Which like she was under for a bajillion years. But like now that she's not under that anymore,
what happens?
And
next?
she's like free, like, yeah, what now?
Yeah.
Because if what you said is true, where you know, when something traumatic happens in your life and you kind of end up like stuck in that time, then like if that's the case for her, and actually it's interesting because she's talked about it. She's literally said, like, I got put under this conservatorship when I was, I don't know, however old she was in her like 20s, or I honestly don't know, whatever age she was young. And she's literally talked about it now being like, oh my gosh, like I'm experiencing like this for the first time, and like getting to like go shopping and decide that I just want to go and buy this for myself. Like I've never been able to do that before, and now I get to do that. And like now I get to like go on a vacation and just go by myself and go do whatever. Like I've never been able to do that before. And like all like those kinds of things, you know?
Yeah.
So it makes sense when you say that you get stuck in that
time frame of your life.
Yeah, in your mind. That makes sense. That makes sense.
It's like Israel leaving Egypt.
Go deeper.
Explain.
They were slaved for how many years?
40. Oh wait, sorry. I thought you meant in the desert. In the desert. They were enslaved.
In the desert.
In the desert. With all the ice cream.
They were slaves for years. Like there were some of them that were born into it.
Oh, absolutely.
And then all of a sudden, you're free.
And they still have slave mentality.
Yeah. Pretty similar.
Yeah. Well, it's like black people too. Now that you say that.
I had the convo with Priya the other day, and I was thinking that.
Yeah.
I was like, the similarities I see in the slave mentality of Israel leaving Egypt is the same I see in a lot of black people.
I could so see that.
Yeah. So to answer the question of what do, you need Jesus.
Oh, amen. Always. That about sums that up.
Anyway, someone check on Britney.
Yeah, please and thank you.
Just concerned.
I think about her and like Amanda Bynes and other people like that. And it makes me a little sad.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
It's so sad because I feel like they were made like to be like money machines, you know, for their managers and for their parents because they were both child stars. And it was their parents who were like pushing it all.
Right.
You know? And then when they reached like essentially the breaking point, now they just became another spectacle for public consumption, but just in a different way.
Yeah.
You know? So like you just moved from like one segment on TMZ to like the next segment on TMZ. Like that sucks.
It does.
I can't even imagine. Like, of course they're unwell. Now looking back, when I see that whole episode that Brittany had when she like shaved her head and stuff, I'm like, no, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. Like, imagine being under that much public scrutiny.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine, and I don't want to. I hope I'm never under that level of scrutiny.
Insane.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.